My goals are pretty similar. Like, I mean, everybody wants to be the state champ and everything, but you got to do the work to get there.
Hmm.
And I feel like my work right now is just a lot smarter. Like doing not, I would say minimal, but like doing stuff that's gonna help me get that extra edge and not get hurt. Because
Yeah.
last year I tore my meniscus, in my eighth grade year I
Yeah.
tore my meniscus, and I realized that I was just doing too much, and I never felt like that was a real thing. And my coaches have just like helped me develop like not only just my coaches, but like everybody at Eds has tried to develop like a strength program and a like they they pretty much have strength programs for every single sport at Eds, but they really have done a really good job this year with the wrestling like aspect, and they have incorporated like flexibility and being able to be strong in certain positions that you would be in wrestling. You have to be, and doing a lot of like stretching, getting those joints and those ligaments strong for when you get in those bad situations that you don't get hurt. So
Yeah.
just stuff like that is gonna just get me that edge this year. Is pretty much it.
Yeah. Something I think I feel pretty strongly about is wrestlers implementing yoga. I think that it would be a great thing across the board for guys to really start considering doing. I know it's kind of feminine, but I think that it would be a great benefit.
So I Coach Myers, he's down in Columbus. He's had me do yoga a couple times. I mean, I think it helps out a lot. But the main thing I would say that I've done on my own that's helped me out a lot is the ice barrel, and then going into like a hot bath and getting that done, because that kind of just like releases all those just toxins in your body and all the lactic acid, get it out all your getting out like all of like your joints and all your muscles.
So
That
you've
helps out a
noticed a
lot.
difference using your ice bath?
Yeah, definitely.
Nice. That's good. Does it help with like repairing quickly?
I feel like it helps out a lot with inflammation, and then also yeah, it helps out with repairing like those muscle fibers a lot.
Okay. Is there a certain like brand that you like, or you did you make your own?
No, my dad bought like an ice barrel from a company called Ice Barrel. It's
Oh,
like
nice.
a big barrel, like you would just picture in your head a big barrel, and then you just put ice and put water in there, and it stays cool.
Ugh, it sounds freezing. No,
Yeah, it's pretty cold.
it's not. That's not for everybody. I think you have to have the mindset for that. I think you have to look at that cold water and to willingly put yourself in there. I don't think everyone can do
Yeah,
it. Yeah,
you
that's
gotta
kind
like
of difficult.
you gotta mentally like prepare yourself for it pretty much. Otherwise, you're just gonna hop in there and hop right out because it's
Yeah.
that cold.
Yeah, I believe it. How do you balance like your academics with school, your training, traveling? Like how do you balance all of that and still be a kid?
I would say getting in the mind frame of every day that it's a work day and you need to get everything done, like having a scheduled out plan. I've realized that a lot now this junior year. Over the other years, it's gotten like harder and harder my freshman year, sophomore, and junior. This year, it's really about time management and like as soon as you walk in the door, Eds, you got to have your stuff set. So I normally do a lot of my work in the morning, and then when throughout the day, I'll do work for that class and that class and get as much done as possible. And then when it comes to practice, if I can get something done, at least getting that done. And then I have to travel a lot from my house to the school to drive an hour and a half. And so I have to do stuff in the car too. So just knowing that you have times throughout the day where you can do your work and doing it and not procrastinating pretty
Yeah,
much.
self-discipline, keeping yourself on
Yeah.
track. Yeah, Andrew told me stories where he used to do his homework in the car, and I was like, that sounds crazy. And now you're telling me the same thing. So
Yep.
it's a pretty common theme I'm seeing. So that's a pretty rigorous schedule during wrestling season. During freestyle Greco season, is it a little less strict?
I mean, freestyle and Greco, you kind of like you have your own plan for yourself. You're like the self manager of everything, pretty much. So I
Good
feel
or
like
bad?
in freestyle and Greco, I felt like it was a little bit of my coaches, like Mike, saying like you got practice at this time and that time, and then playing my strength workouts throughout the day where I could have enough breaks, but like enough rest and break between my strength program and then my wrestling program when it came to like the freestyle Greco season. But during season, it's really it depends on what the school has set for you and what like your plan throughout the day is pretty much.
Okay. So you told me like academically and as an athlete, but what about being a kid? Like your downtime, what does downtime look like for you? Like what kind of things do you do just for fun?
I mean, I'll play video games here and there. I kind of try avoiding it because I feel like it takes me away from like what I want to accomplish.
Hmm.
But like if a friend wants me to play, I'll play. But I haven't played a video game in a bit right now. I'm mainly focused on the wrestling season and just school wise. But that's mainly the thing I do. I just play some video games with some of my friends.
I think that's great. I think that it's great that you can have that self-control and have the right mindset for that because not everyone can do that.
Yeah,
Everyone has that mindset where it's like a job where you have a schedule and you this is what you have to do. Like not everyone can do that. So the fact that you can keep yourself dedicated like that is really a great thing. It just shows like where your goals are and where your aspirations are and what you want to do with your wrestling career.
yeah.
I think that's great. Hats off to you. How long have you been wrestling?
I've been wrestling around 7 years old, pretty much. I actually was about to stop wrestling in like the second grade, the year right after I was wrestling. I just felt like it was too hard, and then my dad, I wouldn't say he forced me, but he like was like, "But you got some practice here and there, and your friends are gonna be there." And I was like, "Yeah, they're gonna be there. I might as well go." And then over the years, I've just like I fell in love with wrestling, and then I just kept pursuing it pretty much until today.
So yeah, look at how you've evolved as an athlete since then. Like you almost quit when you were younger, and because you didn't and your dad talked you into not quitting, you've evolved into a great athlete. I mean, watching you wrestle is really it's awesome. Um, I got the first time I got to see you wrestle in person was at Ed's, and that was really cool. I thought that was awesome. Tell me some of the things that you've accomplished so far.
Um, I mean, I haven't accomplished what I want to accomplish, but
What's that?
like my freshman year, I started at 32, and then I was a sectional champ. I was a state alternate districts. I took fifth. That was it for that year, and then we won state as a team for the duels. And then I qualified for Fargo. I went freestyle and Greco. I don't remember my record, but I did way better in freestyle than I did in Greco, which I like. I don't like that I didn't place, but my goal was to place that year, and I didn't. I think I made it to the blood rounds in freestyle, and then I lost. And then Greco, I think I went 2-2, and that was done. And then
What's your
my
favorite?
sophomore year, what do you say?
What's your favorite? Like Greco, freestyle, folk style.
I would say my favorite is definitely Greco. It's just fun. I
Yeah,
love it.
you could tell. You could tell. When I watched you at Fargo, you had a good time.
And then my sophomore year, like unfortunately I tore my meniscus. I started that year too, but I wrestled a few matches, and then I just realized it's better to stop now than just get furtherly injured. And I had to sit down with my coaches and my dad and say like, okay, I'm gonna have surgery here and there. And then I tried finding a way to try to make it back, and my knee just wouldn't allow me. Like I was in my mind, I was like, I'm ready to come back, but my body wasn't. And then that was the end of that year. And then when Fargo rolled around, that's when they finally actually released me to wrestle. And I basically had like 2 weeks under my belt, pretty much.
Oh my
And I
God.
went right into freestyle and Greco, and that was it.
So you're going to Fargo this year, right?
I'm definitely going to Fargo this year. That's
Definitely
no
going.
doubt in my mind.
It's awesome. Good. Um, Talk about your parents for a minute. Like how important is it to have a supportive family when you're trying to accomplish all this for yourself and kind of like you take your student athlete career very seriously. You take it to a level that a lot of high school kids will never do with any other sport that they're doing.
I feel like it's really important to have my parents on my side when it comes to my journey as a wrestler and just a person in general, because they sacrifice so much for me to try to go to Eds and then be able to have the education I have at Eds. Like I don't I don't know if I could have any better parents than the parents I have right now, because they've literally done they've gone so far, and they'll do anything for me, and they've said it before that they'll do pretty much anything, and they love me with all their heart.
That just
Nothing
shows
really
how much
fit.
they believe in you
Yep.
because you work so hard. So I think that them willing to do that. I mean, if parents see their kid sitting there playing video games and getting C's and D's, they're not taking their goal serious. They're not being serious about what they want to do. But obviously, you know what you want. You work very, very hard at that. So of course they're going to be supportive and right there for you. That's awesome. Have you thought about colleges and what you're going to do like after high school?
Yeah, I've been thinking about that for a while now, and I want to mainly pursue like aerospace engineering. And the number one school that I have in mind, and I've talked to them for a bit now, is probably Navy. And I have some other schools in mind, not really just for like my career wise, but for wrestling. Like I love Iowa wrestling. I feel like their style is like perfect to my style. And you got Coach F, and he's just a great guy to talk to about Iowa. And then I have Arizona State. I just love a lot of the wrestlers because those guys are crazy fast and they have crazy technique. Like
Mm-hmm.
McGee is probably one of my favorite wrestlers to watch because he's just like lightning and he's able to just get to guys' legs whenever he wants.
Yeah.
And then I've talked to the Cornell coaches. They came in for a camp, and Coach Gray wants me to come out and go for a visit. But those are pretty much some of the schools I want to go see. And whoever just offers me the best. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention George Mason too. They've also reached out to me. They're really interested in me. But I feel like I have all doors open. I'm open to all options. I'm just willing to talk to any coaches and see what they have in mind for me and see what the future is, pretty much.
Yeah, I think any wrestling program at the college level, I think they'd be lucky to have you. You're a great athlete. And I don't see any reason why you're not going to accomplish your goals. I mean, you like what time you said an hour and a half to get to Ed's.
Yeah,
What time in the morning do you have to get up?
I have to get up at 4:30 to try to set everything out for my day, which is crazy
Wow.
and people don't believe me, but it is what it is. You could ask anybody in my family and they'll tell me that I'm up at 4:30
No, I
because
believe
I
you.
try to get as much done as possible.
You know, there's grown adults who can't even manage their life the way you manage yours.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. People tell me that all the time.
Yeah, that's something to be proud of. You should definitely be proud of yourself for sure.
Thank you.